Hello Lovelies, and welcome back to MamaGGiaway. It's Mama G here. Hey, and don't forget to press the like button. I always say that at the end, and most of y'all have fell asleep by then. All right, so what I want to show you in this video is how I come up with or troubleshoot when trying to figure out patterns and designs or tweaking certain patterns and designs, being that I don't really follow patterns yet. And I actually have a hard time following tutorials, to be honest with you. So I like to just try to troubleshoot and problem solve and figure it out myself. Okay, so that's the intention here. I'm going to use this is what I'm working on now. And I'm in the process of figuring out on this Hexi Cardi. Many of you know that the Hexi Cardi, it's great, easy, fun, it's a wearable, and the only issue I've heard a few people say is that in making this, the arms, you need to have the same width of the body becomes the same width of the arms, or half of, because you're doing a half and a half. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep it going without cutting and having to tuck in ends, but keep the pattern and design going while you're eliminating arm width, but still generating body width. I think I figured it out. I did it before with the other one, but I did it totally wrong because I added it in the back. Never mind. Just forget that I did that one. All right, so I'm using the these Hirschner's, is it? Yes, Hirschner's Soho Twirly Whirl. Love the yarn. It's really pretty colors. I don't know if this is still available. It may be discontinued. And what you're seeing here is half of a Hexi Cardi. The other half is over there. All right, so let's move that out of the way. And I did, you probably can't, I hope you can't see it. I have little green tapey things on the table because I don't know where you see. So I taped it. I thought that was clever of me. Neurodivergent. Okay, so this is how I do it. I'm going to hold this up and hope you could see it. Excuse the handwriting. This is just jotted down real quickly of the idea. So I start by, all right, hexagon. A hexacardi is hex meaning 6. They both have an X, so you can always remember that. Pen has 5 because you have 5 fingers to hold your pen. All right, and you can use that. Hexagon has 6 sides, and the concept of the Hexi Cardi is crocheting it with those 6 sides, going around and around with the granny stitch, and then folding it so that you have your sleeve and your body. This is a half, so the other half would be along here, okay? And I wanted to lessen or thin out the sleeve width as opposed to the body width. I wanted to keep generating the weight. Width, got distracted by the birds. They're out my back. I could see the little chickadees. They're so darn cute. Sorry. Squirrel. And you want, you know, the body you want thicker. So I drew it out. And yeah, reduce stress. Stress. Yeah, I'm totally stressed. Hope you enjoy my shenanigans. This is an unconventional tutorial. Absolutely. All right, so I kind of map out the design of the pattern. As you're crocheting it, you're going to have this design, you know, not quite exactly that, but, and then you're going to fold it. So you'll have your sleeve opening here. These 2 sides will join together to create the top along your shoulders and down your arm. And then you'll have your neck opening here. This is kind of the little V's here are, I'm trying to show you. Let me hold it up maybe. The little V things here are the granny stitches. So, you know, you go all around. And then I did straight stitches or dashes to show that along the top edge of both the back and front, I'm going to do single crochets and then when I come around, go back to the granny stitch, back to the granny stitch around, you know, as I'm going. So I needed to figure out what two sides of the hexagon are going to join together to be the top of the sleeve and across the shoulder. And I figured it out. As you can, if you can read my handwriting, I'm not going to assume you can read my handwriting. So A and B are the joining pieces that are going to create the shoulder part of your cardigan. And so this one here is going to be the armhole. That's, well, your arm is going to go through, your hand's going to go through. This bottom piece here would be either the front or the back. And then this piece that's opposite the arm is the bottom of your cardigan. Okay? So in doing this, it explains to me what each side, how each side of this hexagon is going to lay on your body. And knowing this, that gives you the opportunity to tweak your design as you're making it. You follow where I'm coming from? So like say, all right, so what I'm doing on this one is A side and B side, I'm using single crochets. All the other sides, I'm using the granny stitch, right? Now say I want to do this and, you know, still thin out the arms, so the arms are going to be a little smaller, and do the single crochet here. But say I want to do the bottom, and I want to make this more of a crop cardi. So I want to make it not quite as long on the bottom, along the bottom. So I could, with this diagram, then do single crochet for the top shoulder, single crochet for the other top across your shoulder. That's your front, and then here's my bottom. If I wanted to make it shorter, I could single crochet on this row as well. So that would just, you know, I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but that doesn't say much. But this is how I design stuff and how I try to figure things out. Some of this stuff I just figure it out in my head, but then I forget it. So I'm really trying to write things down as I go. And I'm just going to show you real quick, and then we're off of here, what it looks like. It's still in the process. I'm still working on it. I'm slowly picking through all my whips. I will show you my whips and then let you know whether I'm going to finish them, frog them, or throw them out. Because some of the yarn I'm not going to frog, because if it's going to be that kind of craziness, I'm not doing it. All right. So all right, so now I have A and B that are going to be single crocheted. So what I did was just put thread. I mean, you could do a stitch marker or whatever. I just tied thread through, and then on both sides in the same spot, and that's going to be one end of the shoulder. Or this would technically be where your hand's going to come through, okay? And then I did the same on this side. So when I'm in the process of crocheting it, when I come to this, I know, oh, I'm going to switch over and do the single crochet. And you really only need that for your first row, because once you start making it, you're going to say, oh, no, that goes into a single crochet. This is the wrong side of the pattern, so you could see it's turning a little bit. And then I attach these two together just as an extra reminder for myself that when I come to this part, oh, wait a minute, it's attached, so I need to remember to do a single crochet. One thing I will say with the granny stitch, and in doing this, is when you come to the corner where you would do it. Now, I do my granny stitches, I don't put chains in between the clusters, and I only do one chain in the corner when I'm coming around the corner, okay? So that may specify that. So when I came to here where I wanted to go from the granny stitch to the single crochet, I'll do 3 clusters. There's 3 there, so I think there is. Maybe not. Well, do 3 clusters. And then I chain 1, and then I come along that the last cluster, and I stitch in 1, 2, and then start doing it, because you're going to expand it out a little bit each row that you go. And that's the only thing that I think maybe might be a little confusing if you're just trying to figure out how to do that. And I did solve that problem. Well, here, I'll show you in this one. All right, so here, all right, let's take it a step further. All right, so here's the corner. I'm coming up with the granny, and now I'm into the single crochet, all right? So I didn't think of showing you this, but we will. All right, so see how I did the 3 clusters in the corner? Like you would now. Here, I would normally, if I was continuing the granny, do a chain 1 and then go back in and do 3 more doubles for the other cluster, but I'm not because I want it to go to single. So I did that 1, and now I'm gonna, yeah, hopefully I am anyway. I'm gonna go into, do a single crochet in that one, single crochet into that. So I'm putting 2 stitches downside that last double crochet for that 3 double crochet cluster, and then just continue my single crochets going along. Oh, yeah, maybe not. It really is a learning to crochet away from yourself takes a little time, and I have not mastered it yet. But anyway, that's, yeah, so there I go. I didn't plan on doing that, but that worked out well. So see how that just goes from there's your granny into your single. All right. So there's that. All righty. And that's all I wanted to show you. I do have a couple other designs that I'm working. You know what? If you got a minute, I'll show you a couple other designs. All right. So we got this one. And again, excuse the handwriting. So there's our Hexi Cardi. I want to reduce the sleeve thickness. That's the design. It's folded. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. All right. One thing I do make, I've been making, and I have to refigure it out every time I make it, because when I started making them, I really didn't know a lot about crocheting. So now that I know and understand more about the concept of crochet, I'm going to redo some of my older patterns. I think I could perfect them a little bit now. This literally is a pattern for a pair of bell bottoms. I know, right? If I did a test there, what do you think? This is a pattern of, I don't think any of you would get bell bottoms if I covered that. But it's literally, I'm drawing the way I'm going to crochet. So I go from the waistline to the bottom, and I'm going to crochet down, come back up, crochet down, and the waistline is going to be the same. But what I do, if you've seen, if I could find a picture, I'll drop it here. There's a picture with me wearing a pair of my crocheted pants, and I have one of my ghillie wigs on, the yarn wig on. So you go up and down, and what I do with mine so far is make the bottom uneven. All right, so basically this is going to be one leg, and this side and this side will join together to go down the side of your leg. So it's just up and down, different length, staying equal on the top until you come to this area. And then you're going to come up, stop at this point, come down, go back up, stop at this point, come down. This is the crotch area. So you want a little bit of an indentation between your legs. We're talking about clothing, guys. So that's what that represents, okay? And this is one leg. And then once I get to the back here, to this side, I can join that together. And then it's a matter of making 2 of these and then connecting them along the middle center, okay? And also what I do with the belt, to create them to be, now if I just did this, it would be more of a straight leg or a stovepipe or palazzo, depending on how big you make them. And that's where you would measure, I should probably say that, where you measure from your belly button all the way around to the crack of your buttocks. Okay, so that area would be from here all the way around back to here. And that's the width you want your rows to be. I hope that makes sense. If not, you can always contact me or drop a comment. And there, you know, I can answer the questions. So to make this into a bell bottom, I also, once it's all put together, I crochet all along the edge. And that will, I do like a single crochet stitch. That will expand this whole bottom, and it will create it to be a bell bottom or a boot cut bell bottom, whichever. And you can also manipulate, like if you want, if you're making your rows uneven like this and that's way too high, you can manipulate that area by putting a few extra rows there going side to side. Gives it a really cool look. And I didn't think that I was going to show this, otherwise I'd bring up, I have several of these pants that I have few left. Several of them I've made, but you know, you can manipulate your bottom so that it's not raggedy in the edges, but you can do that by just going back and forth. This, I like making these with scrap yarn. So you can really use up a lot of scrap yarn, and they look so cool because they're just there's no rhyme or reason. It just looks really cool. But I do that on the bottom. That will create more of a bell flare at the end. All right, so that's my hippie bell bottom. Draw in now. Okay, the top part here. Once you put it all together, you have a couple options. Well, you have as many options as you want, but the ones that I either choose between is across the top part, which is going to be your belt line, your waistline. You can then crochet around and make it weave into a drawstring, or crochet around in a strip, fold it, and insert an elastic. So you have an elastic waist or a drawstring waist. I will say the elastic waist, if you have it where you're making it for yourself, stays up a little better. I find the drawstring, sometimes, you know, when you drawstring yarn and you're wearing it on an article that you're pulling on and it's moving a lot, sometimes it loosens up a little bit, so just be mindful of that. Or you could wear a belt with it, or also suspenders. So, or you could take it a step farther, which is what I'm thinking of doing. So I'm going to try that with a pair of these, is in the front, crochet a bib going up. All right, so let's do it right here in real time. All right, so here's your, and I'm making it straight bottom because I just, all right, so here's your pants. And then what I want to do is make them into like farmer jeans, I guess you'd call them. So then I can crochet a bib and attach it. And then straps. That's not, the perspective on that is completely incorrect, but you get the idea. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. The back, I might not crochet. I might use actual material and whatnot, but I'm working on that. That was another another push off of this one. And then what was I don't know what the other thing was here. Oh, this is another sweater idea. And it was actually, I want to try it with the mosaic stitch. Paula Mint was saying about making a Hexi Cardi with the mosaic stitch. And I was like, ooh, I haven't done the mosaic stitch since I was making skirts years and years ago. So I'm going to try to do a sweater with the mosaic stitch, which you go from one end to the other and cut it off. So I got the front panels, back panel, mosaic, and then how I would figure that out and how many stitches I would need and whatnot. But this one, when I get to it, I'll maybe show you that one. Anyway, so that's it. I just wanted to show you those things. And, hey, love you guys. Be well. Don't forget your thumbs. Subscribe if you haven't. If you feel like doing that, that'd be great. If not, we're trying to get to our next milestone. If we do, that's great. Otherwise, have a yarnalicious day. Be fabulous. And we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.